This episode is sponsored by Monkey Stuff. Monkey Stuff makes things for makers. We're inspired every day by the craft and creativity of makers and design and manufacture tools and accessories to try to make your making life a bit more delightful. Our products are designed in California, by makers and for makers, and manufactured in the USA. Check out our line of pottery accessories and tools at monkeystuff.com. Follow us on Instagram to see what we're up to in our studios, and keep on making great things.
Hey, for Flux Sake fans, looking to take your ceramic skills to the next level? Well, check out this incredible 2 to 5 day workshop offerings at Snow Farm, the New England craft program, where world-class ceramic artists lead hands-on, immersive workshops in wheel throwing, hand building, surface design, and more. Whether you're just starting or refining your voice in clay, there's a workshop for you. To register for a workshop today, visit snowfarm.org.
Hello, my name is Kathy King, and welcome to the For Flux Sake podcast. I'm coming to you from the Harvard Ceramics program in our fair city, Allston, Massachusetts. I'm here with Rose and Matt Katz of the world-famous Ceramic Materials Workshop, and they are ready to answer your burning questions about clay and glaze. Well, hello, Matt and Rose.
Hello, Kathy.
Hey, Kathy.
Hi.
Oh, she's already bummed out.
I know.
Oh.
Well, not that this is anything different, but I'm wearing all black today.
As opposed to every other day?
I can say, aren't we all?
Listen,
Yep.
It's my favorite color. It's my favorite color. I mean, you all know where we're about to go, but I've called a Uber and a big one so that we can all get in.
The XL? Oh, no.
The XL. Yeah. And it's a priority to get to Materials Corner.
There's a wake down at the pub in Materials Corner.
Oh my God.
Well, I gotta stop you even right off the top of. No, it's not. It's
really?
not. It's not. There are complications. It's not as tragic as you may think. But anyway, go ahead. Tell everybody the news.
Well, we're talking. I'll just say what because we haven't seen each other for a bit. But I heard from my supplier that once again that EPK was no longer available, and that this was for realsies. And I thought we had covered this before with some telephone gossip fodder, in a former episode, and it seems to have crept up again, but in a more for real way. Tell us all about it.
Well, it is, and again, this is the way the rumors fly, and it's interesting.
Oh, and ceramics is full of them. It's
Oh my God, is it not?
Well, but
Yeah.
I'm just going to jump to the fact that Kathy sent us all an email that she got from a supplier, and that supplier told her completely incorrect information. Like even the context was correct, but the information was wrong from what I have heard. And I should also say from what I have heard, and mine is from people that are fairly high up in the supply chain, but the company doesn't answer any questions. And we've seen this before with every single company. Well, we could talk about the rumor mill here in a little bit, but we haven't even said that yes, that EPK is off the market, and it does seem like it may be a permanent removal, that it is no longer going to be available. So what do we know? What I have been told from my people fairly high up in the supply chain is that it is not that the mine has closed, which is what your people were telling you. The mine has not closed. But the first thing that people need to understand is that EPK is not a clay mine. EPK is a sand mine where the kaolin is the byproduct. And
Really?
sand, yes. And sand is something we can talk about, because sand is an insanely desirable product, because when we talk about things like concrete usage, I don't know what the statistics are now, but I had read years ago that there is 1 ton of concrete poured per year per person on the planet. And sand is a major component in concrete, much less in other building projects, in road
in
beds,
glass.
everything.
So
is
many
sand.
industries. Yeah.
And EPK was this big sand mine down in Florida. And what I am told, again, this is the company doesn't say anything, but this, and even my people who are super high up in the supply chain, even they don't get communication from the company. They get vague messages if and no one picks up the phone. But what I am told is that the company may have been sold and that there are milling issues. And this is why EPK disappeared 2 or 3 years ago. I forget, not long ago, but it sort of went quote unquote off the market. And it was because kaolin has to be processed. It's part of, they separate out the kaolin and the sand.
Because you don't want clay in your concrete.
Yeah. And you don't want sand in your clay.
No.
You got chocolate in my peanut butter. You got peanut butter in my chocolate. Because the kaolin is just a product that they could deal with, but then they're having processing issues. And from what I understand, that the milling equipment may have broken again. And the new company said, screw it, we're done. Don't care enough.
Wow.
Don't make enough money from the kaolin, so that they would rather just take it and just set it on some other pile in Florida, because they're still producing it. They're still mining the product, but that they don't want to bother to mill it because of the inherent costs in that. And so they have decided to stop milling it. And again, this is what we hear. Now, I am fairly sure, fairly confident that it is in fact the milling issue, independent of the email Kathy got from a major ceramic supplier trying to tell you that they had just closed the mine. Again, not true, because why I know this is because my people have talked about that there are some ceramic suppliers who were considering buying somewhat large quantities. To the audience, these may sound like huge quantities, but in production, it's not much. They were considering buying it and taking it to an independent milling company to just have it milled so that they could continue to supply it to the community. I have not heard a decision from my people whether they're going to do this.
I want to know where the independent milling.
Yeah. I was
I
going to
wanna know where
suggest
that
doing
is.
a GoFundMe for a new machine, like, because I will pitch in.
I can say it's another clay mining company that will mill stuff.
okay.
That this one company knows someone else who will mill stuff. Y'all want to get really angry at me? Not that I have any influence over this company.
Shit.
I mean, that's like me every day
I
sometimes.
know,
Well,
exactly.
Very regular. I actually told my contacts at this company, I said, don't do it. I said, here's the issue. First and foremost, the price is automatically going to double. And that's what my contacts told me, because they now have to take the EPK, the unprocessed EPK, ship it, process it, and then ship it again. And the cost of our raw materials is shipping. The reason, the problem with the EPK, and we can let Rose talk about this, is that it is not a good material. It is a cheap material. And all of our material supply is based on shipping costs. And the material is so cheap. And again, for our international friends, you hear this thing and you hear the tragedy of like EPK must be this great material. And you go on Glazy and all the recipes use EPK. We use EPK because it is perfectly adequate, not because it is good. It is adequate and cheap. And that's it. And so I told him, I'm like, if the price is going to double, all of a sudden it makes cheap not of any value. But so Rose, you reached out to people that that used it and heard nothing.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything back, but I mean, and it's been a while since I've been in logistics for ceramic materials, but I mean, it was always the material was cheaper to buy than it was to ship. That was the case 20 years ago. It was always more expensive to ship than it was to buy it, like pennies to ship it, and then hundreds or thousands of dollars to get it to us. So I don't know. I mean, it's sad that it's gone, but also, what are our options for other alternatives?
So that would be part 2 of the email that I got, which I was told, no problem, use Pioneer kaolin 1-to-1 substitute. Truth, myth, other options? And I had heard about somebody, I don't know if I brought that up in the podcast, but somebody from another big clay studio had already been switching all their recipes over to Pioneer. Now, I will
Oh,
be emailing them to
yeah.
see how that went. But I mean, we just got our white stoneware recipe right.
Oh,
I
I
mean,
know.
we're on version 3 for for low absorbency, and I can't believe we got to start over.
We are so in flux in the ceramic world, and people think that we're a big industry. We're really not
We're
in the whole
tiny.
scheme of things. We're super tiny compared to paper mills that are using this stuff, and paper kaolin is so unusable for ceramics. It's just doesn't work for us, but like
Yeah. I
just
mean, my mentor used to say that the ceramics industry's percentage of clay used is basically a rounding error. And I'm talking about
Oh,
I can believe
God.
that.
tile, sanitary ware, dinnerware. The amount of kaolin we use compared to what the paper industry uses is nothing. Like in American Standard and Dalton, nothing,
Oh yeah, Dow Tile
because paper
uses
uses so much.
unbelievable amounts of material in a day. They use unbelievable amounts of material.
A couple of things to note when you're asking about the substitutes. We don't have an answer yet. We have been testing it in the studio, and
Mhm.
actually, there's another round sitting there. I can tell Rose, she'll be bummed. You can do it after we record. There's more samples to throw waiting for you. Rose is our throwing tester.
Yeah.
Um,
Oy.
First and foremost, for glazes, it really doesn't matter.
Okay.
Okay. Are all glazes going to act the same with a different kaolin? No, they're not going to be exactly the same. You may find that they need different water content. You may find that some of your effects may move a little bit, and you may need to adjust them because different kaolins have different levels of silica and alumina. If you want to learn how to do your glaze chemistry, join us at Ceramic Daryl's workshop for our new class, Making Glazes Make Sense. It'd be real
Hmm.
easy to do, real basics. Join us at CMW. That part is easy. And the one I really want to say about the kaolins is, as you all know, I travel all over the world teaching workshops. And when I go to another country, I take whatever kaolin they give me and I bring along with me the recipes that I crafted here in the States. And guess what? My glaze recipes always work because, feldspar is feldspar the world around. Kaolin is kaolin the world around. Yes, there are minor changes, but it's more about how water interacts or how exactly you're getting your silicon aluminum levels and stuff like that. So in glazes, it's kind of whatever. I think a lot of people are leaning towards tile 6. Honestly, we haven't even bothered to do any of the glaze testing because it's really not a thing. In clay bodies, though, it is different. Clay bodies are the real issue because clay bodies rely on what we call particle packing, which is how all of the particles pack together. So to sort of make the most surface area contact, which is sort of one of the factors that makes clays plastic. And EPK, it's not that it can't be replaced, but it just has a very particular profile that no other kaolin will have. And I'm not saying the EPK is special. Every kaolin has a profile that is different from every other kaolin. So in our first round of testing, I have it right here. I have the results from Rose's first round of testing because we have our baseline porcelain that we tend to use.
Use it for all the slip casting that we do.
Yeah. And it's a great body. It can be a slip casting body. It can be a throwing body. It's been our body that we use for years. It doesn't have a ton of EPK in it. It has, I think it's 8%. So it's not a ton. But what we went and did is that we made up our porcelain recipe and we replaced that EPK content with every other kaolin we have. So we did Pioneer and Wilco and Diamond. It's everything that we had. And we just did the same recipe with that substitution, just a straight substitution. We weren't looking at chemistry. Number one, the best result we got from this clay test was just no EPK. Just go with the other materials that were already there. Just leave it out.
Really?
And this is a
Just
blind
take it
test.
out? Oh,
Rose
that'd be
has
great.
no idea. The way
So-
that we do this is that I write the recipes. I get them batched. So Rose has no idea. And I just give her a bunch of clays and I say, throw them and just grade them. Tell me what's best. Tell me what's not. Now, again, there are other kaolins in this porcelain recipe, but her absolute favorite one, complete blind Pepsi challenge, was, yeah, just leave it out. It's fine.
And that's just for throwing. You haven't put
No,
those
we're
through
just
the kiln
just
yet.
doing a
Okay,
throwing
you're in
test at
early
this point.
stages. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is just to see what works.
Yeah.
Number 2 was a clay that is not well known, called McNamee. And McNamee is out there, and but it's not
That's a
a
West
very
Coast?
popular clay.
Where is that
Is
one
it
coming from?
Scottish?
I think it's like Dunedin in Florida.
It comes with
Dunedin.
a bottle of
Guinness?
whiskey
No,
with
that's
it.
Irish.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
That one came out pretty good. You gave the original clay body, which we did mix up the original clay body. She gave a 10. The clay without the EPK, she gave a 10. The McNamee, she gave a 9. And then the third was Pioneer. But the one note I've got on her notes right here was that the Pioneer was short when she wedged it.
And that McNamee's from South Carolina. We just looked it up.
Okay.
So, and
Interesting.
those were the best. So it was better than the Wilco and the Diamond and all of those. Kingsley we did. And we tried some ball clays as substitutes. So the short answer is that it really depends on what your clay composition is now. Because, might your clay be okay without it? Maybe. Might it need one of these substitutes? Sure. But here's the real kicker, everybody. You have to freaking test it. There is no such thing. And I'm sorry, I want to poke whoever told you that this is their substitute, because I want to poke those people in the nose. Because when you are talking about clay bodies, there is no such thing as a substitute. Can you take the body and basically re-engineer it from scratch to use a kaolin and have it be similar? Maybe at best. But when supply companies go around saying, oh, we're just substituting it with this, nope, not how this works. You need to do a ground up redesign of that clay. And I'm sorry, that sucks. I get it. It's work that you don't want to do, or that you're too lazy to do. We work with a lot of clay companies.
I think you're starting to make Kathy cry.
No, I'm not. I'm not. But because, I'm lucky that I have staff that I can get on this. Like Casey, who works for us, he can get on this and start testing. And I'm glad this is, some people just took the gossip and went with it and started planning a lot earlier than I'm about to, but at least I'm doing it at the beginning of the semester and not in the heat of the middle. I just wanted to stop for a second. I know, because we're getting really into clays. Is your feeling right now in terms of glazes if we're going to test with Pioneer and Tile 6? Do you think that's a good starting point? Okay.
I think those are fine.
Okay.
They're both domestic. They're both cheap. Like, some people automatically jump to Graulig. Graulig's just a shipping issue. It works fine in glazes, but that's, again, you're paying for shipping. And those are domestic and cheap. So that's perfectly fine. But just to finish the last point, it's just, the substitutes are that's not a thing. So this one clay company that we deal with a lot, they had brought us in to consult with them and to redesign their clay bodies, because they fully admitted, like, we've been around for decades and decades and decades. And what the current person managing the company had realized is that all of the predecessors, every time a material would go out and every time something would happen, they would just make a substitute and go, oh yeah, it's okay. And all their bodies turned to hell. And this guy finally came around and said, look, what is this? What is this nonsense? And he came back to us to refine it, because you have to do this. You can't just act like this is a substitute. This is not going to the store and you always buy the name brand sugar and that they only have the generic sugar. Yeah, those sugars are substitutable. This is not that. And I'm calling you out, clay companies. This is where we stand up and be proud and take pride in your work. And take pride in the things that your customers make from the work, and really put in the legwork to redesign your clay bodies. Now is the time, if that's going to be, sort of what's going on. And I encourage people to do it, because it's the right thing to do.
There's some hard work ahead, especially with all the material changes. It's
So
hard.
like what do the bigger companies like what do Amico and Mako and the producers of the commercial glazes do? Are they freaking out? Are they fine?
I mean, they get information as much as we do. It's just a matter of
Hmm.
when and how they
Really?
adapt. I mean, they're
Hmm.
doing testing too, but it's a matter of what testing they're doing. I would hope they're not just blindly changing things, but they have a consistent product they need to sell. So I would think they're doing testing.
Yeah, and I can say I was having a conversation with one of the glaze designers from Amico at Enseca last year, and they were talking about how, yeah, the struggles that they have with trying to switch out kaolins and how they see their glazes perform differently. So they're aware of it, they know it. How actively they're pursuing it, I haven't talked to them. So I don't know, but yeah, it is definitely a concern. But you know, a lot of that, as I said, the materials themselves will work chemically in a glaze, so it's not really that big of a problem. This is a big material, you know, that you know, and it's like, you know, we had the show going when Custer Feldspar went away, and it seems like these sky are falling things. It happens. This is literally life in ceramic materials. All of these things happen, everything changes. You know, I had someone recently ask me of and you know, this is Materials Corner. Like Materials Corner is a thing on this show because these conversations keep happening
It's a
and the changes keep
terrible,
happening.
terrible thing.
You know, terrible, just terrible. But yeah, like somebody was asking me about like, you know, like, does this stop? And or when does it stop? And the answer is not going to stop, you guys.
Mm-mm.
This is why chemistry matters. This is why this show exists, because we do have to deal with a
That's
couple
why
of
we exist.
yeah, right. Well,
Yeah,
there you
for
go.
real. I mean, but in, you know, my 30 years of, you know, working in clay, it seems like a lot in the last couple of years.
Oh, yeah. Hmm.
It is a lot. Well, because okay, so what this person was asking me is like, yeah, so when does this stop? And the answer is we have a problem here in the States, and it's happening. I have lots of students in Europe,
Where do
and
we
we're
start?
talking with
Yeah.
them too. It is a manufacturing issue, right? The industries in the States have changed. And I always say, when I started doing this in the late 90s, we had 10 major dinnerware factories in the US, and now there is one.
And if there's nobody buying it that's making ceramics like we do, then what's that industry going to make money?
Yep. And if the production is being offshored, like we have a bit of a warped perspective here in the US because we are shipping materials in. We get in Crawlig, we get in Mahavir, we get in G200 EU. But to be clear, if you are running a major manufacturer and you offshore your production of tile from California to even to Mexico, you're probably not going to ship in the materials. You're going to use whatever they have to make that tile in Mexico or in India or in China
Hmm.
or wherever. And
Preferably in your
ceramics,
backyard. That's a lot of plants have their mines right behind them and they manufacture in front of it.
that's how the brick industry exists. Brick companies exist because the efficient ones, they built the factory on top of the clay pit. Because
Yeah.
how much clay a brick production uses, you're not shipping that. Pay for a train, pay for a truck? No.
So next time you drive around your neighborhood, look for the brick houses, and then there's probably going to be a brick manufacturer nearby.
Oh yeah. Every town, every region used to have a brick factory because nobody, you know, back then, imagine you had a horse and cart, right? Late 1800s, pre-car. But there's a ton of brick houses that were built back then because they could make bricks in that town. And they would, and they were cheap. So the international the production goes down, and so we lose materials here in the States. It is just a reality, and that is the, you know, this is I mean, I don't want to get political, but this is what the whole struggle is in the States and in other parts of the world, where when you have growing societies and they disenfranchise their production. And I understand that that's how this country works, and I understand that that's how economics work, but it also comes with ceramicists get screwed. Like,
Well, I'm going to guess we're going to need to keep our chairs available at Materials Corner because, you know, I know
Yes.
we're going to be recording another Flux U. I'm sure we're going to touch upon that on the Patreon, which would be great. So hopefully join us there. But I'm sure we're going to keep we'll keep reporting on what we're finding out. And I should say that producer Ben pointed out that the McNamee clay is from South Carolina, not North Carolina, as we mentioned earlier. Today's episode is brought to you by the Rosenfield Collection of Functional Ceramic Art. The collection exists as an online source for research and inspiration, featuring photos of thousands of objects made by over 800 artists. The images are high quality and can be used with no permission required. To find out more, visit www.rosenfieldcollection.com.
Glazes don't make sense, but that's why Rose and I are here at ceramicmaterialsworkshop.com, helping translate glazes for real ceramicists like you. So join us for our brand new class starting October 1st. It's for everyone from beginners to masters. We clear up all the mysteries of glazes to make them work for you. Join us at ceramicmaterialsworkshop.com for making glazes make sense.
Before I start sobbing, I'm going to go to a question just to cheer us up.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Okay. So, Virginia, I'm putting it all on you to cheer us up. And this is a question that was sent in and very timely. Would it be possible to mix your own clay? Wouldn't that save money? Now, I'm not sure if she means like to have all the materials and just mix it in the studio as opposed to buying, or she's not talking about like digging it up out of the backyard. I'm going to.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Virginia, I got some bad news for you.
Uh-oh. Here we go.
No.
It's not a no.
Well, as somebody who used to make clay, you
Mhm.
know full well what it takes to make a clay that you box up and send to people so they can make stuff out of your clay.
Yeah.
To put it bluntly, it's not easy.
It is not easy. Can
you do?
I'm reading. It's an aspirational question.
It is really.
If you have a lot of space and the equipment, knock
Yes.
yourself
Yeah.
out. I mean,
Yeah.
There you go. Because Virginia asked, is it possible? Yes,
Sure.
it is possible. Should you do it? No.
Mhm.
Oh no, come on. They could do it. It depends. So there's a lot of factors here, right? So what kind of clay do you want to make? Are you making a moist clay like you get out of a box that you can get delivered to you? Or are you slip casting? Do you want to make a liquid clay? Are you, there's multiple factors here. So if you're making, let's call it box clay, that is hard. That's a lot of backbreaking work because you're taking dry materials to a wet state, and you have to have that wet state to a particular, I don't want to state again because that's using state 3 times, but it has to be done the right way. If you're slip casting, then you're making a liquid clay, and that's a lot easier. Less equipment, less space really is what you need, less investment. And so what do you want to make? Do you want to make your clay you can get from your supplier? Well, you got to invest in some equipment, or you're going to really hurt your body trying to do it.
Just because I know we won't talk about it very long, but I will say, because there are not a lot of slip casters out there. To be clear, if you are a slip caster, you should be making your own slip.
That's the one thing we mix in house is our slip cast clay. Yeah.
Everyone can do it because all you need is a bucket and a powerful enough drill. And I will say, don't try to use your cordless drill, people. Get a plugged in hammer drill, like one of the ones used to mix concrete. Get a powerful drill with a paint mixing blade. You can absolutely make your own casting slip. Just get a recipe
And
get
your
the
materials. Yeah.
and your materials.
I'll do a shout out for our Slip-O-Matic. We love our Slip-O-Matic.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, if you are a slip caster, make your own clay. But you can then go into what Rose was really talking about, because there's an equipment problem.
Well, as the old lady of the group, I will say that when I took my first clay class, and then when I, was teaching at, Georgia State, we would have that beginner class always mix our own clay. And it was a pain in the butt, but we did have the space for big mixers, and they didn't even go through a pug mill. I mean, and so we were using stuff that was short as hell, but we didn't really know any different. It taught us to wedge really well, and it gave us an appreciation for the material. I do like that idea of people giving students that opportunity if you do have the space for the equipment. But in a urban studio like ours, that's not possible. So we have the clay, our recipes mixed, we bring it in, and then we just concentrate on the recycling.
Yeah, but those manufacturers that are mixing for you are using equipment that's big in scale, first of all, because you're ordering a certain amount.
Thousands, yeah.
Yeah, thousands of pounds. So they have big equipment, they have the labor to work those equipment, and then they have the shipping materials, the packing materials, the pug mills, like all kinds of stuff that go with making that box of clay for you.
Well, let's talk about the logistics a little bit, because actually the equipment is not tragic. What you would need is what we call a plastic mixer, and you need a pug mill to do it at a high quality, which are not terrible things to do. You can buy them, and you can get ones that fit in a relatively small space. That they don't have to be huge pieces of equipment. They will run on 240 power. They are not the cheapest things, but you don't need huge equipment. So that is possible. A plastic mixer is not the best way to mix, which we've gone on rants about filter pressing before, but I'm not even going to do that. I'm going to just say, like, doing this basically. I will put in one warning that there is a style of mixer that is sold that sort of promotes itself as an all-in-one, mix it and pug it.
Oh.
I have not seen the best results from those. I think that's better for a reclaim situation, but not for mixing fresh, because the problem with mixing fresh is that if all the particles are not homogenized, if you don't get an even mix, then you're going to have serious working problems with that clay. And that's where a plastic mixer comes in. But you can do it. Honestly, the really bigger question, going back to sort of Vanessa's original concept, is, and I think that this is the breaking point, it's not the time. It's not even the equipment. Getting the materials can be a pain, because you got to get them, you got to store them, you got to have them ready.
Yeah, and they're 50 pounds, so
yeah,
like they're usually 50-pound bags. So yeah, they're heavy.
Yeah, and you better have great ventilation, and making sure it's safe for your staff. I mean, it's a lot.
That is actually problem number one of my two major issues. Is, me, I've talked about the real considerations of health and safety and what silicosis means and all that. But if you recall, when we've had those conversations, and there's a great study, it was available on NIOSH's website. I don't know if it still is with what's going on with the American government, but they went and studied a pottery studio. And the one place where they found to be an active silicosis threat was to the person who was mixing the batches of clay. Because what they were doing was slicing a 50-pound bag and dumping it into the mixer. They definitely had a silicosis exposure. And let's contrast this by the same study said the people actually mixing glazes and stocking the glaze lab had zero threat. But the people mixing clay absolutely did have silicosis exposure. So ventilation, proper respirator usage, all of that if you were mixing clay. That is absolutely a very real threat. The second threat, though, and I think this is the thing that would break most people, and this is the question you have to ask yourself with mixing clay, is the time. It is going to take you a lot of time to procure the materials, to set up, to batch, to pug, to clean up, to leave everything set up, to do it again the next time, much less finding the right recipe and testing the right recipe and all that. It is going to take you time to make that clay. And is your time in the studio worth the time to make the clay? And that is a big question. And here's the thing, I'm not saying it's not. I'm actually saying it is. Going back, should Virginia actually do it? Yes, you should. You will get the best clay you possibly can if you do it right. But is it worth your time investment? And this is why we were talking earlier today. This is why I'll sort of give the side eye to the clay companies, because it is, people don't have the time, and so they are relying on the clay manufacturers' quality control to do this, because the quality control is a huge, huge deal. And I'm just hoping the manufacturers take pride in that, the way you would if you're doing it on your own. And those are the hard things, the health and safety and the time. All of that said, everybody, guess what? This summer, I am teaching a workshop on making your own clay at Anderson Ranch.
Yes. Go to beautiful Colorado. Mm-hmm.
Beautiful, beautiful Snowmass, Colorado. We are going to spend 2 weeks exploring how clay works, how to change it, how to make the clay that you want, understanding all these relationships like particle packing, what makes clay throwable, what makes it wedgeable, what makes it short, how we get the problems, how we make it better. We're going to make stuff. We're going to fire it all out of the clay we're making from scratch. So join us at Anderson Ranch. I think it's in late June. Sorry, I forget the dates right off the top of my head, but we are going to have an awesome time exploring it, because you should learn about your clay. You should know how to make your clay work, and you should pursue making it if you can. But as we all have busy lives, it's a thing.
Mm-hmm. And we just ran your full semester class at Harvard, which was really interesting, because I did have to, kind of explain to everybody, listen, we're not doing this so that everyone's mixing their own clay bodies. It's about you understanding what our clay bodies does. Now I'm happy we did that, because now I've built an army to test all the EPK substitutions. So this is going to work out great.
Can you send some up here to help
I know,
us?
right? I know. Taking requests now. But Virginia, I hope that helped, and good luck to you. But and thank you for sending the question in and taking us out of the depths of despair of the materials corner. But
I didn't say I was out.
I know. No, we're going to stay there. Believe me, I'm snuggling in. I got my full length Snuggie on, and I've got my cup of hot cocoa. We're not leaving. But for now, that is all the time we have. So farewell, Matt and Rose.
See you, Kathy.
Bye, Kathy.
Well, folks, that's it for this week's episode of For Flux Sake. I'd like to thank the listeners who submitted questions this week. And if you want your question answered on the show, shoot us an email at forfluxsakepodcast@gmail.com. So join us next time. And when in your studio, remember what Rose always says.
Always remember to test, test, test. This is a test of the emergency glaze system. Beep. Hey, For Flux Sake friends, wish you could hang with us a little more each month? Well, you can come join us at our For Flux Sake fan club on Patreon. You'll get discounts on our new merch, chances to chat with us during live hangouts, and extra episodes just for you. Find us at patreon.com/For Flux Sake podcast. We'd love to see you there.